Good job. Alrighty. Kelly, what's going on?
I don't know.
You are so not keen to do these episodes,
No,
aren't
I am, but you start with the most random question. Like
you said don't make the questions hard, so I said what's going on? You just have to give the
There's a lot
generic
going
response,
on, but
not
I don't
much.
know what you want to know about.
Nah, but that's one of those things with Australian greetings, right? When you say, oh, hey, what's going on? You don't have to give me your life story. You just say, not much, you.
Okay, not much.
Isn't it the same thing in Portuguese?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
So, Kel, what's going on?
Not much. I was actually thinking, what are we talking about?
Bilingual babies.
Bilingual babies, yes.
So I thought we could give a little update on Noah's development and his bilingualism, how our bilingualism is going, and our approach to things. Your thoughts on his evolution as a future polyglot. Who knows?
Who knows? I would say probably 70% of what he says is English.
I know, that little bastard.
And the rest is Portuguese. But he understands everything in both languages, so I don't know what's happening in his brain.
We should probably start from the start. So he was born in 2018, June, so he is 19 months old?
He's 19 months old.
So, yeah, a bit older than 1.5. From the restart, our sort of method that we were going to stick to was Portuguese at home only, Portuguese from both of us only to him, and he would get English from everyone else.
Yes.
And a lot of people were always like, oh, you should try and do English, Pete, and Kel can do Portuguese. But I was like, he's seeing his grandparents 3 or 4 times a week. He's seeing all these other people and he's speaking English with them permanently. So, you know, there's no real bonus. It's just taking away his time with Portuguese. And I want to improve my Portuguese. So it was a sort of selfish thing on my behalf as well.
There was even a moment when I thought, oh, maybe he'll get... I was afraid he wouldn't be exposed to English as much as, you know, Portuguese, because we were speaking to him in Portuguese all the time. But that's not the case. Well, as your father is always saying, we might be speaking to him in Portuguese all the time, but the rest of the world, his world is English.
Yeah.
So...
Well, the TV shows.
Everything.
People he hears outside, daycare.
Music, everything.
But it's worked pretty well. How do you want to sort of... how should we sort of... explain how it's been going? Initially, it was that he was getting Portuguese. We were watching a lot of TV shows in Portuguese, obviously speaking just in Portuguese at home. It had the added bonus effect of helping me improve my Portuguese, which is great, at least conversational Portuguese. And then I think after he got to the point of being able to sort of walk, so maybe around 12 months, when he would then spend more time with my parents, especially, you know, you would leave him there for half the day or the day and we would go do other things. I think that's when his English started to really pick up,
It took off, And then I do think that daycare has really affected his English, his language sort of skills. Yeah. Because since he started there, he comes home with a new word sometimes and he says things like, let's go, or other things that we didn't actually actively try to teach him, as opposed to sorry or thank you, things that you try and teach your kids, but let's go is like random.
Well, and it's so funny how many times we say vamos, which is Portuguese for let's go, and you know, I'm always saying like vamos Noah, vamos, let's go, come on, you know, let's go outside, vamos lá fora, let's go outside. And he gets it, but he never repeats. He never says aloud, vamos.
But he says, let's go.
But now he says, let's go. And you just pull that out of nowhere. And you wonder, because it's like he hears once a certain thing and then he just starts saying it all the time. And
it
so
is really
it's funny.
Cute.
And
other things like he just says a lot. He's just starting to put words together
into sentences and phrases.
This morning he said mo fruta.
So he's mixing the languages too.
Mo fruta.
So he wants more fruit.
Yeah. Things that it's so interesting. He says dada cá. You know, putting 2 words together.
That was cool when he suddenly started doing that, like creating his own grammar. Effectively, right? Where he had the word dada for me, for dad, and he had the word car or carro for car. And then he didn't really know how to make it possessive or anything. Like he doesn't say, let's go outside to play with dad's car.
Yeah.
But he'll point and say dada car or dada carro.
Yeah, vovô carro.
Yeah, and the same thing with granddad's car, vovô carro.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, that's so interesting seeing how without obviously explicitly teaching him any grammar, he then is like, I need to say, he has this intuitive sense of I need to say these words together to make sure the message that my parents or whoever gets is that car is the one that I want to go to. And it's really cool seeing that evolve, right?
And he's been saying so many things that sometimes I'm like, I don't ever remember trying to teach. And the tricky thing is he's listening so closely, and it's pretty much repeating everything we say. He picks
our words.
Yes. So if you say,
you got to be careful with swearing. I have to keep avoiding it.
Sometimes it comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh,
don't do it.
Yeah. But he's just paying so much attention and just saying things like random stuff. And yeah.
I think you see how much their brains are just sponges.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that it is interesting. I think I had that moment where you say something to him and you can see in his eyes that he 100% gets what you're saying. Yeah, well, no, but he understands you, right?
He understands you, yeah.
You'll be saying something like, what was it? He was sitting in his chair the other day and I was saying in Portuguese to him, like, are you finished? And he just says no. And he just says no to everything. So you'll be like, do you want more? No. Do you want to get down? No. And you know that he means yes.
Yeah.
But then I asked him a series of these questions and it was like half tricking him, trying to get him to say yes, because he never says yes, sing, yes. And then I think the last question I said, like it was, are you finished? And it was like, no. And I'm like, if you don't want to eat anymore and you want to get down, you need to say yes. And he just looked at me and was like, yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, there's a lot going on behind the eyes.
I remember telling you this because I spent more time with him, and I probably got the very early stages of that before you. And then I remember telling you that he understands, he looks at me and I know he understands what I'm saying. But now I think it's just part of, him, and everyone can see that, like whatever you're saying, he understands. Or you don't do this, or you come here, those things, he just gets it. Yeah. Whereas before it was like, he has no idea.
Yeah, there was either complete ignorance,
or the fairies.
Exactly, or he was just had no idea. You'd see his eyes glaze over, or he would focus on something else.
But yeah, as it comes, he's learning that he can choose. Like, so he's saying no a lot, and then if he wants something, I don't know, it's probably like, why can't I have it?
Well, it was funny because it was almost like being a Jedi, originally doing that Jedi mind trick where you would just say to someone, you will give me this, and you could just say to Noah, can you give me the car? Yeah. And he would just pick it up and give it to you. And I think at that stage he didn't realize that he had an option.
And now he's looking at you like, no. Yeah. No.
Now he's almost loves doing that more where, it's actually, I can do the opposite of what you want. And so you have to play the reverse psychology sometimes and be like, we're not going to do the thing that I want you to do. We're not going to have a bath right now. And he'll be like, all right, I want to have a bath. And you'll be like, gotcha.
It's so cute. He only just like in the morning, you wake up and you have a shower, banho. And then I think he did it in this house once or twice. And now every morning he's like, banho. And then he goes and wakes you up because he wants to get in the shower with you. And
and every morning he wants to shower with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's obsessed. But so what would you say to listeners right now who have moved to Australia and have young children that they're trying to raise bilingually? What would you suggest they do? Or even what should they not be worried about? Because there seem to be a lot of people out there who give advice saying, you must do this, or this horrible thing will happen where they only have one language, or blah, blah, blah. What has it actually been like in your experience?
I'm not specialist, but I can, if you try and worry too much about, if he speaks in English, oh my God, like he's not learning my language, whatever it is, like Portuguese, for example. He's not getting it. Like I must make sure he only says stuff in English or in Portuguese, or he's replying to me in English, it's going to happen anyway. You just have to make sure, I think, your kid sees like the purpose of the language you're trying to get them to learn. Like for Noah, it's like my parents speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
And he comes back speaking English from daycare or his grandparents' place. But when we speak to him, it's in Portuguese. So he might even reply in English, but I'm sure he's getting it. He's learning and he knows. If you ask him, where's your head? And then you ask him in Portuguese, cadê sua cabeça? He'll point to the same place. So he knows. It's just, we can't force him to reply to us in Portuguese, but I know that he's getting it. So that's the most important thing for me.
I think it's not being too worried about him mixing it all up as well.
Yeah, because
It's just not, he'll work it out in the end. Yeah. He's that switched on where you can just speak to him in Portuguese and he gets it. And then he just responds with whatever it is that's the easiest or quickest thing to say to get the message across. And he knows we both speak English as well.
Yeah.
Because he hears us and sees us speaking it all the time when we're with other people. And so as well, I don't think you're screwing the child up when they end up replying in different languages to you, especially when they know you speak both those languages.
Absolutely.
And at the moment, it seems like he just picks the easiest words to use, the shortest, which ironically tend to be English, right?
Yeah.
So we had that happen with up and down.
And the thing that I find interesting with fruit, for example, I always call raisins fruta. I don't know why. I just say fruta.
Tends to be the fruit that he eats.
And then he just calls it fruta. You know?
Yeah.
I could say fruit or I could say raisins and he would say, we use those words, but because I'm saying fruta, he's like, that's what mom means and that's what I want. So I think modeling, it's a good thing as well. Like we do speak in English sometimes, especially when we have people over. So he says that if he says car and he's saying carro and he's saying dada or daddy and papai. So he just he's just using what's easier or depends on who he's talking to. And if we name one thing car, let's say car, and it becomes car, and he doesn't really know, is it English or it's Portuguese? He's just gonna call it car because that's what he is around him.
I would love to know what's going on inside his head.
Yeah.
Like, does he think he just speaks one language that happens to have all these multiple ways of saying the same thing, but you just use different accents? You know, because I can imagine that he sees the world so differently from how you and I do, having learnt foreign languages much later in life. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes maintaining this and everything. The other cool thing that I guess we've been trying to do is making sure that we have a lot of other Brazilians and their families hang out with us so that he can see other children speaking that language, interacting with their parents. So it's trying to show him and make sure that as we raise him with both languages, that they're both useful.
Yeah.
Because English is going to win out. And we need to make sure that he doesn't end up a child who thinks that it's just his geeky, annoying parents who, embarrassingly always speak to him in this one language. It's more, you get to expose him to music and TV shows, families, other friends, children using the language and seeing, actually, this is a tool that I need to maintain and that has a function.
I like that.
Will be useful.
Yeah, I need this language. And I just don't have to learn it. I actually need it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can only hope that he'll, speak Portuguese and as good as English. And one day we'll go to Brazil and he'll be able to talk to people. And who knows if he one day decides to live there or who knows. It's just something we can hope for.
Yeah. I don't think there's any real downside to it, really.
No.
I think, and it's funny because in Australian history, at least, I think that from my dad's generation, there was a big pushback against immigrants who'd come to Australia. The children of these immigrants would quite often then go to school and then almost refuse to speak the language because they just wanted to be Australian.
Okay.
They were very embarrassed about being migrants. They just wanted to fit in. And so a lot of the time, the language was kind of lost.
Yeah.
I think also because a lot of the migrants that came over kind of didn't end up picking up much English. And so you'd have these two worlds kind of really separated. And I think that's the key to, it's just to kind of make sure that these things are blended together, but still kind of both distinct and useful.
Yes.
And also you have to make it fun. You can't just have it as this, like, you must speak at home with your parents about these things. It's more like, look, we're going to go out and you're going to get to hang out with your mates who are from a Brazilian family, but today we're just going to speak in Portuguese, you know, that sort of thing, where it's like you get a reward for doing it. It's not just you will do this or I'll punish you. Speak Portuguese or I'll send you to your room.
I'll send you to Brazil. No, yeah, that's it. That's a good explanation for this.
Where we're at with it.
Yeah.
And I think, what's the plan now? What are we planning on doing going forward from here? Do we have any specific plans with what we need to do, or it's just more of the same?
More of the same as far as I know. And now that we'll have a second child, just making sure we keep speaking in Portuguese with her as well. And
you should tell them your nifty trick when you have books in English and what you do in Portuguese.
What, like that I don't read them?
Well, you don't read the English, but you just make up your own story.
I make up my own stories, just saying, let's say there's a book with a bear and a duck. And I'm like describing the bear or describing the duck. And I just pretty much describe whatever I'm seeing because one, I don't want to read for him in English. And usually I'll get stuck or I don't know. It's just, I don't have time for this.
Well, the funny thing is, and I had this too, I'm like, oh my God, we don't have any Portuguese books. We need more Portuguese books. And I was thinking, I guess from my point of view, where it's going to help me a lot more because Portuguese isn't my native language. It'd be easier if I can just read what's on the page. But in reality, especially if you guys are foreigners who speak another language, just get an English book and then you don't have to even translate it, but just make up your own story with your language, you know, using, because you forget the child can't read. He just sees these lines on the page. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know what language it is. Yeah.
We don't actually, the books he likes are just pretty much pictures and the pictures of cars. And what am I going to, read for him? It's just like, oh, the car, the truck is driving, whatever. So I just make up my own stuff and he loves it.
When you do almost like a Where's Wally kind of thing, right? Where's the cat? Can you see the cat? And he'll be like, S, this one. And you'll be like, where's the wheel? This one. Can you see the woman?
Knows.
Where's the woman? This one. Over here. And you're like,
cute.
Yeah. So I guess the point there is that you can get materials that may be in English or in other languages and you can still make it work. Just have to use your imagination, right?
And then you're doing two things at the same time. You might even say, oh, in English, it's a duck. And then you say, oh, pato. So he kind of gets both. I don't know if it's a thing, like I just made it up, but that's how I read books for him.
Yeah. You just do it one. It's so funny. You just underestimate, I think, how switched on they are. Because quite often I just switch between two languages and he gets it. He follows 100%. I'll be reading the book in English and then I will start describing things in Portuguese. So you will do the whole, there's a rat in a cage and blah, blah, blah. And then after that, you'll be like, oh, onde está o rato? Like, where's the rat? And then you'll just use all this other language and then switch to the next page, go back to English. And he just follows along 100%.
Yep.
And it's all time on the mat. It's all, training. It's all helpful in terms of helping both languages, I think.
It is, but it is really cute to watch them developing language and it's really cute. I love when we are not expecting him to repeat something we say and he just do it.
Yeah.
He does it, sorry. I don't know, the other day he said, nope. And things like that. It's just like, what?
When I was getting ready to take him for a drive and I'm like, alrighty guys. And you just hear this, alrighty. You're like, what the hell, Noah? Where did you pull that out of?
It's so cute.
Because he doesn't get the context. And Anyway, so I guess that's it. That's the update for bilingual babies, Kel. Anything else to add?
No.
That's where things are.
Yes.
I guess the crazy thing to add, Joanna's in your belly right now, and she's going to be the topic of the next podcast.
Yes.
She, from what I remember reading about babies and bilingualism, she's already picking up on the sounds, intonation, everything like that of your voice.
Yeah, that's true.
So she can recognize your voice versus my voice. She can even start picking up, I believe, on the linguistic things, the rhythm, the cadence of the language. I mean, she can't obviously be like, this is what they're saying.
Amazing.
But her ears are already potentially getting tuned in.
Nice. I knew she could recognize my voice and your voice.
Yeah.
But that's That's great.
Well,
Interesting.
the other interesting thing when I was reading this book on bilingualism is that within the first 9 months, I think babies can hear all of the distinct sounds of every single language.
Wow.
So, you know how like in Portuguese, you've got all these different sounds like ing, ong, like vowels that we don't have in English. When you speak any language to Noah when he was under 9 months, he can differentiate between all those sounds and pick them up, the nuances. But then after 9 months, any of the sounds that he hasn't been hearing or exposed to, the ability for him to then hear the differences starts to go away.
Okay.
And so that's why it's so important to expose them to as much as you can from the very beginning.
That's great. Interesting.
Anyway, thanks guys, and we'll chat to you soon.
Bye.
See ya.